Welcome to Pattern and Craft. I'm Courtney, and in today's video I wanted to just share a quick little tip I had for mosaic knitting when working in garter and working on the reverse side. First, I did want to start on the front and just kind of show what slipping the stitch with yarn and back looks like. I'm knitting right now the mini Nada shawl. I'll leave the info for that pattern in the description, but basically for this pattern, I'm slipping every other stitch. I'm working in the rust color right now, and I'm gonna be slipping all the beige stitches. So on the front side of the fabric, the right side, it's pretty easy. You just slip purlwise and then knit, and slip purlwise and then knit. And when you look, when you're slipping your stitch with the yarn and back, it's very easy to do because the yarn's already in the back because you're knitting. But it gets a little bit more complicated to slip stitches when you get to the reverse side when you're knitting in garter. So I just wanted to quickly show that in just a moment. Okay, we're on the reverse side now. Here's the front side, here's the reverse side. And now when we slip our stitches, we don't just pass them along like we did in the front because the yarn needs to pass on the wrong side here. So the way that I was learning to do that through other videos, I was seeing that people were kind of bringing the yarn in front, slipping the stitch, bringing the yarn back, knitting. Bring the yarn in front, slip the stitch, bring the yarn back, knit. Bring the yarn in front, slip the stitch, bring the yarn back, knit. Now there's nothing wrong with that, and that's perfectly fine, but for me this little bringing my finger back and forth is getting a little annoying, so I learned that I could also do this. So I'm gonna yarn over before my slip stitch, slip it purlwise, not worrying about the yarn, then just whoop, pull the yarn back. And that makes the yarn going back without me having to move my finger around very much. I like to have minimal movement when I'm knitting so that my hands don't get tired. I'll show you that again. So I'm knitting my next stitch. Now I've come to a stitch that I need to slip with yarn in back, or yarn in front, sorry. On the back side of the work, but in the front of where you're working. So yarn over, just the normal yarn over, up and over. Then slip the stitch and then pull the yarn back. Sorry if I didn't do that slow enough. One more time. Knit the next stitch, yarn over, slip the stitch, pull the yarn back over the stitch. So that way your yarn stays on the back side of your work without having to move your finger in kind of an awkward back and forth way. So this technique does have an extra step. It has that extra yarn over that you wouldn't normally have to do. So it could take more time perhaps to do the stitching this way, but it does have less movement, so less wear and tear on your hands. I'm gonna do it a little quicker now, just at my normal pace. And you can see that it isn't all that much more time. So just yarn over, slip the stitch, put the yarn back, do the next stitch. Yarn over before the slip, slip, put the yarn back. Knit, yarn over, slip, yarn back. It's a little bit hard for my brain to switch between the knitting and the slipping, but I just wanted to share this little technique. I'm still a beginner knitter, but I thought it was a really cool technique to kind of just make it, the yarn keeps staying in back without having to wag your finger all over the place, you know? So that's my little, quick tip for the reverse side of a garter stitch mosaic crochet, how to easily do the slip a stitch purlwise yarn in front technique without having a lot of hand movement. I hope that helps anyone who's working this way. You wouldn't really need to use it if you were doing stockinette stitch because your yarn would already be in front, so it wouldn't really be an issue. But when you're doing the garter stitch mosaic knitting, that's maybe hopefully a tip that you will implement and see if you like it. Let me know and leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will be back with more little quick tips in the future. Thank you.